meeting of the Police Civil Service Commission, Wednesday, October 19th. Roll call of members.
Commissioner Buda?
Here.
Commissioner Plisky?
Here.
Commissioner Palmer?
Here. We'll start with the approval of the minutes, if we can have it all in one motion for the September 18th regular meeting, the September 18th special meeting, the September 28th special meeting, the October 5th special meeting, the October 7th special meeting.
I'll move we accept them as presented.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're going to deviate from the agenda, and Chief Swistek has some special presentations to make.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
This morning we have the honor of presenting 4 of our officers with awards for their outstanding and exceptional work here most recently. And at this time, I would like to call forward, I'm going to do them by date, Officer Richard Sosa. If you could please join me. Good morning, sir. Officer Richard Sosa was on the 23rd day of May the subject of a life-saving award for exceptional service. On May 23rd, Officer Sosa was dispatched to the 400 block of East 7th Street for a report of an attempted suicide. Upon arrival, Officer Sosa was met by a female and the subject's mother. She was extremely emotional as her son had just stabbed himself multiple times in the chest. Officer Sosa observed that the victim had lost a substantial amount of blood and a steady flow of blood was flowing from his chest. Officer Sosa applied pressure to the subject's chest while simultaneously applying pressure with his right hand to the victim's back. The victim seemed to be in a state of delusion at the time. Officer Sosa spoke to the victim in a very calm and professional manner, reassuring him that he was there to help him. Had Officer Sosa not been able to slow the victim's loss of blood and calm him so that EMS could work on him at the time, the outcome could have been life-threatening. Officer Sosa, your actions personify the spirit of cooperation of all law enforcement officers and are in keeping in the highest standards of the Michigan City Police Department. For your actions, I am extremely honored to present you with this life-saving award.
Perfect. Congratulations.
Officer Mark Galletti.
Congratulations.
It should be noted that Officer Mark Galletti is one of our recent graduates of the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy and currently doing exceptional work on our afternoon shift. Officer Mark Galletti was on the 21st day of July the subject of a life-saving award for exceptional service. On July 21st, officers were dispatched to the 3500 block of Lexington for a possible shooting with injuries. Officer Galletti arrived first on scene and saw the victim lying on the porch, and a man later identified as the next-door neighbor holding a towel to the victim's right arm. After quickly assessing the scene of broken glass and large amounts of blood, you learned that there was no shooting. The victim had gotten into a verbal altercation with his girlfriend and put his arm through the window of the residence, sustaining multiple injuries. Officer Galletti, you relied on your prior medical training and quickly retrieved your first aid tourniquet and applied it to the higher portion of the victim's right arm. This was instrumental in stopping the blood flow to the multiple lacerations on the subject's arm. You followed proper procedure in logging the time that the tourniquet was applied with the Regional Dispatch Center and remained by the victim until EMS arrived and was able to stabilize him for transport to Franciscan Hospital, where he received further medical treatment. It was reported by medical staff that your quick reaction with the tourniquet application is what saved the victim's life. Your actions personify the spirit of cooperation of all law enforcement officers and are in keeping with the highest standards of the Michigan City Police Department. For your actions, I am extremely honored to present you with this life-saving award. Officer Brian Wright.
Congratulations.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes.
Officer Wright is also a patrolman on our afternoon shift where he works alongside Officer Galletti.
Oh,
Officer Brian Wright was on the 30th day of July the subject of a life-saving award for exceptional service. On July 30th, Officer Wright was dispatched to 200 block of Vale Street for a possible overdose. Prior to Officer Wright's arrival, 2 doses of Narcan were administered. The victim was unresponsive and his lips were turning blue when the caller requested emergency services. Officer Wright arrived at the residence and assessed the situation, when he immediately began chest compressions on the victim. After nearly 2 minutes, the victim began throwing up and was then placed in the recovery position to prevent him from choking. There were 6 other officers from the Michigan City Police Department and 1 Indiana State Trooper that were on scene, and it is believed that if it was not for your chest compressions, that most likely saved the life of the victim that day. He was still unresponsive after the 2nd dose of Narcan. Your efforts got the victim breathing again, which in turn got the Narcan circulating so it could effectively reverse the overdose. Your actions personify the spirit of cooperation of all law enforcement officers are in keeping with the highest standards of the Michigan City Police Department. For your actions, I am extremely honored to present you with this life-saving award.
Congratulations.
Officer Adam Brinkman. This is the model of the day afternoon shift. Again, Officer Adam Brinkman is one of our patrol officers who serves beside Galletti on the afternoons. Officer Adam Brinkman was on the 16th day of August the subject of a life-saving award for exceptional service as follows. On August 16th, Officer Brinkman was dispatched to the area of Woodland Ave and US Highway 20 for a report of a man down having a seizure. Upon arrival, the victim was located on the ground at Woodland Ave and US 20. The victim was coming out of his seizure as Officer Brinkman arrived. Due to the victim having a seizure, he did not have total control over his actions. The victim attempted to run across Highway 20 as he was extremely agitated and disoriented. Officer Brinkman attempted to stop the victim, but due to him coming out of the seizure, he resisted and pulled away. The victim made another attempt to cross Highway 20. Officer Brinkman radioed for assistance and then took the victim to the ground and held him to the ground until he was assisted by LaPorte County EMS, Michigan City Police Units, Trail Creek Police Department, Michigan City Fire Department, and the LaPorte County Sheriff's Office. Had Officer Brinkman not taken control of the victim and held him on the ground by himself until assisted by other agencies, I firmly believe that the victim would have walked into Highway 20 and possibly been struck by a vehicle. Your actions personify the spirit of cooperation of all law enforcement officers are in keeping with the highest standards of the Michigan City Police Department. For your actions, I am extremely honored to present you with this life-saving award.
Thanks, sir. Congratulations.
Good job. Good job.
At this time, we're going to continue with our monthly Police Civil Service Merit Commission. You're all welcome to join us. If not, you are excused. And thank you again for taking the time to attend with your loved ones. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on, and we'll move on the agenda to old business. And we're into applicants in process. We have 2 currently still in background investigations, which we should get back tomorrow. We have 8 that are down and are being signed up for their perf appointments. And we have 11 that we are interviewing tomorrow for the oral interviews for the testing we just had last Saturday. Questions on applicants in process?
Mr. President, if I could add the 2 background investigations. Subsequently, that's why Assistant Chief Urbancic is not at today's meeting. He is diligently typing away on one of those backgrounds for you. He will have that completed by the end of today. And every indication thus far is that both of them are coming together quite well, and they'll have them to you for your morning meeting.
All right, thank you. Probationary officer reports.
You both are all been handed the report by Chief Urbancic through Sergeant Kendrick, who's our FTO supervisor for the department.
Okay.
If you want to read through that, we are still having the 2 officers that will be attending in January. We have the 5 officers, that are at the academy at this present time. They're doing very successful. They've all passed their criminal law testing exams last week, excuse me.
Okay. Questions for probation officer?
No, I have none.
Past performance ratings. We're still missing 1.
We got one that came in today.
Yeah, we're still missing 1.
Okay.
Send me the name and I'll get it to you.
Yeah, the individual was just here Monday, so he's off of medical leave.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But I think that was the last one because we just got one today. I'll let you know for sure. It was either 1 or 2 that we had. So once those I receive, we'll get the letters out and they can file their appeals if anybody's filing an appeal, and that process will be completed. Any other old business? All right, move to business. We'll go on to correspondence.
Yes, I have a letter from Chief Swistek congratulating Officer Dion Campbell for completing 20 years of service on September 20th of this year. Excuse me, I have a letter of resignation from Officer Jacob Ray, effective with the close of business on November 2nd, 2019. And a letter of resignation from Officer Carol Patina, effective with the close of business on October 13th this year. I also have a discipline matter from Corporal Peter Trustee. I have claims to be paid totaling $4,874.90.
I'll move we pay the claims.
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Being that we will have our next commission meeting after the resignation letters take effect, need a motion to approve them as stated.
I'll move we accept the resignations as stated for Officer Carol Patina and Officer Jacob Ray.
And I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The update on the applicant testing that we had on October 5th. I've given you a list of the applicants that we tested. We tested 18 applicants, 14 passed the written test, 12 passed the physical fitness test. So we have 12 that we're working on for our hiring list. And we'll be interviewing 11 of the 12 tomorrow. We did one of them already on Monday, so we'll do the other 11 tomorrow. So we'll have our eligibility list. And in discussions with the chief, he requested the first 6 on the list to be sent to him so they can start doing the background investigation. Questions on that part? Okay, so on that. Any other new business? Report from Chief Swistek.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I really don't have too much this morning because I know we've been meeting so often here most recently. I'd like to start by thanking the members of the commission, the 3 of you, for all of your work most recently, not only with the testing but also with the interviews and the work that you do at home, reading all the backgrounds and everything else. I think your hourly rate is now down to about 8 cents an hour is what I think that you're probably being paid by the city. So all 3 of you have gone above and beyond, and I truly appreciate that. In fact, that was one of the reasons for my tardiness today, as I was in with some of our command staff just talking about staffing issues. And we have some serious staffing concerns moving forward because we have so many that we need to hire. We have 5 at the academy right now. We have 3 officers that are deployed overseas in Afghanistan right now. So we have a couple out on medical leave. So as you can see, we are extremely short-staffed. But I am very proud that the men and women of the Michigan City Police Department, all of us have stepped up to take on extra responsibilities. Sergeant Yagelski, a big thank you to him as well. We met with him personally yesterday and explained much of this to his division as well. And everybody's very understanding as we move forward. So I want to encourage the public to please tell anyone if they're interested in applying to Michigan City Police Department. We are accepting applications. We will have a test, I'm almost certain here again, probably the first quarter of next year we'll need another test. But again, we are accepting applications. Aside from that, big thank you to Sergeant Yagelski. His Citizens Police Academy class is going exceptionally well. They're into week 3 this week, so everything's going well there. We have just under 40 participants that are getting a behind-the-scenes look at the police department, so that's a great opportunity. That's an annual event in October and November of each year. And then lastly, we're already gearing up, believe it or not, for a Shop with Our Cop event, which will be in December. I'll be working with some of our major donors, as we have in the past, to make that a reality. And then lastly, a big thank you to Assistant Chief Royce Williams for all his work on the Bolt for the Heart 5K walk-run event that we had here last month in Washington Park for the inaugural event. It was well attended. I know he'll speak a little bit more about that this morning, about some opportunities for the business community to make a tax-deductible donation to buy an AED for a law enforcement vehicle for police across LaPorte County. So aside from that, unless there's any questions from the commission, I didn't have anything else to add this morning.
Chief?
Thank you, and appreciate that segue, Chief. Regarding the Bolt for the Heart, whether you're aware of it or not, we had a 5K run walk a couple weeks ago that was attended by a couple hundred, and that's our inaugural run. Next year we're probably going for a half marathon and a 5K if everything works out right, so it's going to be a very big event next year. But the second tier of that is looking for sponsorships for AEDs. And we're going to put a news packet or a newsletter out to all the businesses within Michigan City to see if someone wants to sponsor an actual AED that will go on a patrol car, and a sticker with their logo or business name will be on the window, and if a life is saved, they'll be contacted, and there'll be a media blitz about that. So Bolt for the Heart started 6-7 years ago. All the state police in Indiana have one in their vehicles. Carmel Police Department, several other police departments. Finally made its way back here because the person that started that up is actually from Long Beach in this area, so it's very important to him to bring it back to this area. And so we're concentrating on getting AED in every single patrol car throughout LaPorte County here over the next couple of years. So, and other than that, I want to congratulate the 4 officers that got the Life Savings Award. That's exceptional work on their end, and they do a great job. Thank you.
Thank you. Sarge?
Yes, so we'll start off with congratulations both to Officer Isaac Murray and Officer Mike Ortega for both graduating the academy and both successfully completing the FTO program and riding their own successfully right now. So hats off to both of them. Steve Dick, the marshal from Trail Creek, sends his congratulations to our guys that successfully completed the agility testing, but appreciated allowing his officers to attend also and take on that portion. Other than that, that's all I have to report.
Well, on that note, I want to thank you for the help you did putting it together and working with them. He wasn't going to do part of the test, and then after he saw how we do ours, he said he wanted everyone to go through the same thing we went through, and he was very pleased with it. And wanted to thank you for putting it all together. Thanks to the commissioners again for spending all day Saturday. It's a long day, 8 hours. People don't realize what it takes to put a test on for our department, and the hours we put in prior to doing the testing, getting the stuff together. But I just want to thank everyone for their cooperation. I too want to congratulate the 4 that received the awards today. They're all fine gentlemen. All our officers are fine, our gentlemen and women. They do a great job, and they just don't get appreciated enough by the city. So I just want to thank them for that, for their hard work. To remind the commissioners, there is the ride-along between Galletti and Murray by Monday, I think was the date that they're off of probation. So if we can fit it in their schedules, we're most appreciative. That's all I have to say. Commissioner Brewer?
Just like to thank Sergeant Yagelski for all his help on Saturday, and to again congratulate the 4 officers that were here this morning for their good work with the life-saving awards.
Same thing here, Chris. Thank you for your help all the time. Also, with the 4 officers, congratulations.
And Chief, thank you for your help too, because you were here as well most of the day with us. And the helpers that helped you, Chris, did a nice job, and everyone got along well, and even the candidates even helping each other out through the physical fitness part was nice to see. So, having said that, attorney comments?
I echo everybody's congratulations and gratitude. Sosa, Wright, Galletti, and Brickman. Well done.
All right, FOP not present, liaison to city council is not present, and nothing from the public, so having no other discussions this morning, need a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll move we adjourn.
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting stands adjourned. Thank you very much.